The last conversation I had with my son, Michael, was about borrowing my truck. Not about his dreams, not about how proud I was of him, not about love, just a stupid truck. 3 days later, he was dead, and I never got the chance to tell him what I should have said 1,000 times before. I never told him I loved him. My name is David. I'm 70 years old, and before you watch this, I need you to understand one thing. What I'm about to tell you is my real life story. This isn't something I read in a book or saw in a movie. This is the biggest regret I carry every single day, and it's eating me alive. I'm sharing this because if my pain can save even one person from living with this same weight, then maybe, just maybe, it'll mean something. This is hard to talk about, real hard, but you need to hear it. Your kids need you to hear it. So stick with me, even when it gets tough, because this might be the most important 12 minutes you spend today. Let me take you back to understand where this all started. I grew up in rural Pennsylvania in the 1950s and 60s. My old man,
Frank, was a steel worker. Tough as nails, didn't say much, worked 6 days a week at the mill.
I can count on one hand the number of times my father said anything remotely affectionate to me. That's just how men were back then. You showed love by providing, by working hard, by keeping a roof over your family's head. Words, emotions, that was for women. I remember being maybe 8 years old, coming home with straight A's on my report card, so excited to show Dad. He looked at it for maybe 5 seconds, nodded, and said, "Good, keep it up." That was it. No, "I'm proud of you," no hug, just acknowledgement and back to his newspaper. And you know what? I thought that was normal. I thought that's what fathers did. My dad never once told me he loved me. Not once in his entire life. When he died of a heart attack at 63, sitting in his recliner watching the evening news, those words had never passed between us. And I never thought twice about it. That's just how it was. Real men didn't talk about feelings. Real men didn't say, "I love you." Real men worked hard and provided, and that was supposed to be enough. So when I became a father myself, it was when my wife Carol gave birth to Michael in 1981, then Tommy 2 years later, and finally our daughter Sarah. But words of affection, telling them I loved them, that felt foreign, uncomfortable, even embarrassing. It wasn't in my DNA. For 30-something years, I raised my kids the way I was raised. I worked construction, then moved into project management. In 1985, I followed the same blueprint. I'd provide for them, I'd work hard, I'd make sure they had everything they needed. I was good at my job, made decent money, provided a comfortable life. We had a nice house in the suburbs. Carol stayed home with the kids when they were young, and we went on vacations to the shore every summer. By every measurable standard, I was a good father. But I never said the words. Michael would show me his Little League trophies. I'd nod and say, "Nice job." Tommy would bring home his art projects. I'd say, "That's pretty good, son." Sarah would run up and hug me. I'd pat her head and say, all right, all right." But the words, "I love you," they never came out of my mouth. Not naturally, not easily, not at all. Carol would say them all the time to the kids. "I love you, sweetie." Carol would say them all the time to the kids. "I love you, sweetie." But when they'd say, "Love you, Dad," as I left for work or tucked them in at night, I'd respond with "you too," or "be good," or "get some sleep." Never the actual words. Never "I love you too." It became a pattern, a family dynamic. The kids knew Mom was the emotional one, the hugger, the one who said the words. And Dad? Dad was the provider, the fixer, the one who showed up to games and wrote the checks for college. That was enough. Or so I thought. Michael grew into a good man, really good. Became a firefighter, married a wonderful woman named Jessica, had two little kids of their own. Tommy became a graphic designer, moved to California, doing well for himself. Sarah became a teacher, still living close by, married with a baby on the way. I was proud of all of them. So damn proud. But I never told them. Oh, I'd say things like, "You're doing well for yourself," or "That's good news about the promotion." But proud, love, those words felt like they were stuck behind some wall I'd built over decades. Every time I'd think about saying it, really saying it, something would stop me. Pride, maybe. Embarrassment. The ghost of my father's silence. Fear that it would sound weird after all these years. I kept thinking, they know. They have to know. I show up. I help when they need it. That's what matters. I was wrong. Dead wrong. April 17, 2019. That's the day my world ended. Michael called me that Thursday afternoon. "Hey, Dad, can I borrow your truck this weekend? Need to haul some lumber for Jess's garden project." "Yeah, sure," I said. "Come by Saturday morning and grab the keys." "Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it." "No problem. See you Saturday." That was it. That was our last conversation. 38 seconds about a truck. Saturday morning never came from Michael. Friday night, he was working a shift at the firehouse. They got a call, residential fire, family trapped on the second floor. Michael went in with his crew. Something went wrong. The floor collapsed. Michael fell through, got trapped in the basement. By the time they pulled him out, it was too late. He was 34 years old. I got the call at 2:47 a.m. from his captain. I remember that time like it's burned into my brain. Carol and I threw on clothes and drove to the hospital, but he was already gone. Jessica was there, crying so hard she couldn't breathe. My two little grandkids, ages 4 and 6, didn't even know yet that their daddy wasn't coming home. I stood there in that hospital hallway, staring at nothing, and all I could think about was that stupid conversation about the truck. That's what we talked about. That's what I'd left him with. Not, "I'm proud of you." Not, "I love you, son." Just logistics about borrowing a vehicle. The funeral was massive. Hundreds of people. Fellow firefighters from 3 states. People whose lives Michael had saved. People whose houses he'd protected. One after another, they came up to me and Carol, telling us stories about Michael. "Your son was a hero. Michael saved my daughter's life. He was the best man I ever knew." And I just kept thinking, I never told him any of that. A 65-year-old man sitting in his garage, sobbing like a child. All these people knew how special he was. But did Michael know his own father thought he was special? Did he die knowing I loved him? The weeks after Michael's death were the darkest of my life. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I'd sit in my garage for hours, just staring at that truck he'd wanted to borrow, and I'd cry. Because I'd wasted 34 years not saying 3 simple words to my son. Carol was grieving too, but she had something I didn't have. She had peace. I told him I loved him every time we talked, and I had nothing. No peace, no comfort. Just a gaping hole and the knowledge that my last words to my son were about a goddamn truck, she said one night. The last thing I said to him on Thursday was, "I love you, honey." He knew how I felt. About 6 weeks after the funeral, I was going through some of Michael's stuff that Jessica had given us. Old photos, some notebooks from when he was a kid. I found his journal from high school. I almost didn't read it. Felt like invading his privacy. But something made me open it. And on one page, dated sometime in his junior year, I found this entry. Had the game today. Hit 2 home runs. Dad came, sat in the stands, watched the whole thing. After, he said, "Good game." That's it, just good game. I wish just once he'd say he was proud of me. I wish he'd say he loves me. Mom says it all the time, but I want to hear it from Dad. Does he even like me? I don't know. I hope so. But I don't know. I read that paragraph probably 50 times that night. My son, my beautiful, brave, incredible, spent his teenage years wondering if his father even liked him. Not because I didn't love him, not because I wasn't proud, but because I never said it. Because I was too stubborn, too stuck in my old man's way of doing things, too scared of vulnerability to just open my mouth and tell my boy what he meant to me. That's when I realized the full scope of my failure. I hadn't just failed to say words, I'd failed to. That's when I realized the full scope of my failure. I hadn't just failed to say words, I'd failed to say words. I'd failed to let my son feel loved by his father. And now he was gone, and I could never fix it. Never. After I found that journal entry, something broke in me. Or maybe something finally opened up. I realized that I still had two kids. Tommy in California, Sarah right here in Pennsylvania. And I'd been making the same mistake with them for their entire lives, too. But they were still alive. I still had time. Barely, but I had time. I called Tommy that night. It was like 11 p.m. his time. He was surprised to hear from me. Dad, everything okay? Yeah, I said, and then I just forced it out before I could chicken out. Tommy, I need to tell you something. I love you. I'm proud of you. I always have been. And I should have told you that every day of your life, but I didn't, and I'm sorry. But I'm telling you now, I love you, son. There was this long silence on the phone. Then I heard Tommy's voice crack. Dad?
Thanks, I
love you too. We talked for an hour that night. Really talked, maybe for the first time in his 33 years of life. He told me things he'd never shared. How he'd always felt like he didn't measure up, like I was disappointed in him for not being more manly like Michael. How he'd moved to California partly to get away from feeling like he wasn't good enough. It broke my heart. But it also opened a door that had been closed his whole life. I drove to Sarah's house the next day. She was 7 months pregnant, glowing, excited about becoming a mom. I sat in her kitchen and I told her the same thing. Sarah, honey, I need you to hear this from me. I love you. I'm so proud of the woman you've become, the teacher you are, the mother you're going to be. And I'm sorry I never said it enough. I'm sorry I made you wonder. She cried. I cried. We hugged for what felt like 10 minutes straight. Since that day, since losing Michael, I tell Tommy and Sarah I love them every single time we talk. Every phone call ends with, I love you. Every visit ends with a hug and those words. It felt awkward at first, weird coming out of my mouth after 70 years of silence. But now it feels like the most natural thing in the world. Now I can't imagine not saying it. Let me tell you what I learned, and I'm begging you. Learn from my mistakes, not from your own regrets. Lesson 1, words matter more than you think. I thought showing up was enough. I thought providing was enough. And yeah, those things matter. But kids, hell, all people need to hear the words. They need verbal affirmation. I love you isn't weakness. It's not soft. It's necessary. It's oxygen for the soul. Don't assume they know. Tell them. Lesson 2, break generational patterns. Just because your parents didn't say it doesn't mean you can't. I used my father's silence as an excuse for my own. That was cowardly. You can be different. You can be better. The cycle breaks when you decide to break it. Lesson 3, pride and fear are thieves. I was too proud to be vulnerable, too scared of seeming weak or emotional. That pride cost me the chance to have a real relationship with Michael before he died. It almost cost me my relationships with Tommy and Sarah, too. Don't let pride steal your moments. Lesson 4, tomorrow isn't guaranteed. This is the big one. Michael was 34, healthy, strong. I thought I had decades to figure out how to tell him I loved him.
maybe at his 40th birthday. You don't get a countdown. Tell people now.
Lesson 5, it's never too late with the living. Yeah, I can't fix things with Michael. That ship sailed, and it haunts me every day. But I could fix things with Tommy and Sarah. And I did. If you've been silent for years, decades even, it's not too late to change. Your kids are waiting to hear it. Trust me, they're waiting. Lesson 6, this isn't just about kids. Tell your spouse. Tell your parents if they're still alive. Tell your siblings, your friends, the people who matter to you. I've started telling everyone. My buddy Jim, who I've known for 40 years, I told him. My brother, told him. Life's too short and too fragile to leave love unspoken. I'm 70 years old now. I've got Tommy in California, Sarah here with her baby girl now, and Michael's 2 kids, who I'm trying to be a better grandfather to than I was a father. And every single day, I carry the weight of what I didn't say to Michael. Every single day, I think about that phone call about the truck. Every single day, I wish I could go back and tell that stubborn, proud, scared, younger version of myself to just open his damn mouth and say the words. But I can't go back. I can't fix my mistake. All I can do is make sure other people don't make the same one. So here's what I'm asking you to do. No, here's what I'm begging you to do. When you finish watching this video, call your kids, call your parents, call whoever you love, and tell them, don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until it feels natural. Don't wait until tomorrow or next week or when you see them at Christmas. Do it now, today, right now. Say, I love you. Say, I'm proud of you. Say whatever's in your heart that you've been too scared or too stubborn or too proud to say, because you don't know how much time you have. None of us do. And I'm telling you from experience, the regret of silence is heavier than any awkwardness you might feel saying the words. My son Michael died not knowing how much his father loved him. Don't let that be your story. Don't let the people you love die wondering. Don't waste another day, another hour, another minute being silent when you should be speaking. I failed, Michael, but you don't have to fail the people in your life. You've still got time. Use it, please. I'm begging you as a man who knows what it's like to run out of time. Don't be me. Don't carry this weight. Say the words. After you finish watching this, I want you to do 3 things. First, close this video and call someone you love. Tell them what they mean to you. Second, make a promise to yourself that you'll never let a conversation end without expressing love. And third, if you've been where I was, if you've been silent too long, don't beat yourself up. Just start today. Just change today. It's not too late for the people still here. For the people still here. I tell him I love him. I tell him I'm proud of him. I tell him all the things I should have said when he could hear them. And then I come home and I call Tommy or text Sarah and I tell them the same things. Because they can still hear me. They're still here. Make sure the people you love hear you while they're still here to listen. Thanks for watching. Now go make that call. And if this story helped you or might help someone else, share it. Maybe together we can save other people from living with regret. Take care of yourselves. And for God's sake, tell your people you love them.